Welcome back to another episode of Riding with Robin. This week, we want to take the time to introduce one of our instructors. Ever wondered what it's like to be a driving instructor? Stay tuned to find out.
All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to Riding with Robin. This week we want to highlight one of our instructors, Donna Dobbs. So we're gonna shoot some questions at you, hoping that you can answer them and just tell our viewing audience who you are and why you want to do this. So I'm gonna start with some questions. Okay, this is Donna Dobbs, everyone. She is our instructor. She pretty much covers the east side of the county and maybe a little bit of the city and wherever else we need her.
Yes.
And Donna just recently today became an examiner. So we're gonna ask her some questions about that too. So let's get started. So the first question is, how long have you been a driving instructor?
I believe it's about 2 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah, a few years now.
Okay, all right. So what made you want to be a driving instructor?
I love to teach, so I think instructing is awesome here. We're just such a family here, so it's a good environment.
Okay, so what you say you love to teach. Have you had an experience with teaching in the past? What's your history?
Yeah, so my history is a lot of training. I used to sell computer software. I used to demonstrate it. I used to train it, as well as work at Gateway and Penn Hills at the grade school. So yeah, I have some experience with teaching.
Okay, so you're used to dealing with all types of students.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and you said you were selling software before. What a big difference from selling software. But I guess that's kind of customer service.
It
and
is.
This is also a customer service industry.
Very.
Okay,
much so,
all right.
yeah.
All right. Okay, so next question is, what do you like about being an instructor? What is it that you like about this job? I'm assuming that you like it.
I love it.
Okay, good.
I love it. Well, I left. I left the school district to come here and work full time. That's how much I loved it. But I think that the reason why I love it so much is just the gratification of seeing students get their independence in driving. I always tell my students that they'll never forget me. Just simply because I can remember when I took my test, and I can remember who was my instructor and what I did, and I always say, you'll probably remember me years from now, and it's just so gratifying. It's great. I love it.
It absolutely is. I mean, it takes a unique person. And I've known Donna for a while, and Donna is a very unique person. She's probably one of the happiest people I know on earth, which makes for a good fit when you're dealing with really any student, because Donna knows how to relate to them, and if you don't come out of her vehicle being happy and just excited about life, then you will probably sleep the entire lesson. So I appreciate that about you. So do you think you can share a moment with us as an instructor that really stands out? Can you tell us a story? Without any names, but just kind of tell us a couple of times things have really, been a moment that you will always remember.
Yeah, there's several, but a few that stick out is I had a mother that she tried a few times to get her license, and her main concern was her baby. She wanted to drive her child to daycare and do things with them, and she finally did it, and she was so excited. She was just full of joy and tears, and that was just because I'm a mother and I have twin boys, and I know how it is when you're thinking about your children. So I was just like, wow, that's awesome. This one, I'll just share this one. This is the most recent one. He actually came in and he was trying to get his license, and I had no idea, but until I got this little letter and this little note that he wrote me, was that, thank you so much, Donna. I failed 5 times, 2 in California and 3 in Pittsburgh. And he said I taught him the details that it needed, he needed to eventually pass his exam. So I love these little notes because I cherish things like that, because it's just like you took the time to actually write it. For one thing, and for secondly, he didn't have to share that. He didn't have to share any of that, and he did.
Yeah, well, I think as a driving instructor, we make a huge difference in the lives of our students, our clients, because this is a milestone for them. And like you mentioned, when you told us about the mother and her child, it's gonna open up a whole new world. So kudos to you for just investing in your students and filling their passion. I think I probably speak for all of our instructors, we all invest in our students because we realize that this is a huge deal for them. So if there was a piece of advice that you can give a new student, what would that be?
I would say not to give up. Not to give up. I've had some students that felt that, after maybe they failed or something happened to them in the past, and they were just really frustrated about some things. They had some history, right? We all do. But, never give up. Never give up on your dreams, because even though, some people are, I'm too old, I don't know if I'll ever get it, things of that nature. And there's no, as I always tell them, there's no word can't in my vocabulary. You can always do something. It might take you longer, but you can do it. You can do it.
So what is we all know that you have to be at least 16 years of age to get a learner's permit. Your oldest driver, do you know their age? The oldest student you ever had?
The oldest student just recently was 73.
Wow, so you're right. You're never too old not to learn.
Agreed.
So someone at the age of 73 is still learning.
Yes.
So good. And to be a part of that
Right.
learning environment,
Right.
that process.
Yes.
Is very rewarding.
Absolutely.
All right. So we have different lessons that we teach. Obviously, we're starting out with a brand new student. It might be simple as our vehicle controls all the way up to our highway, and obviously parallel parking. What is your favorite lesson to teach?
Parallel parking. I love to teach parallel parking because the myth of everything, and everyone talks about how, their friends told them that they failed on parallel parking and they'll never get it. And so they have this anxiety about it, some serious feelings about it. And I always like to just stop that whole thing, because there's a process that we teach, and once they get it, they're just like, wow, they're really just surprised that they got it. I thought it was going to be so tough. It was going to be so hard. And once they're just so happy and excited that they have it. Now, I'm a realist. I teach not only just with the cones, but I'm very real, so I teach them with cars as well. So I take them out.
Nice.
And that's typically when they're just like, I can never do this. And when they do it and they apply the steps, they're just so excited, and they're just like, wait till I go home and tell my loved one about it. You know, absolutely.
Nice. Well, I always tell people when they call in, and a lot of them will call in and specifically want that parallel parking lesson.
Yes.
And I know that for most of our instructors, they love parallel parking, so I kind of suspected that would be your favorite lesson to teach. So, well, thank you, Donna. Is there anything you want to tell our viewing audience that maybe, something we need to know, something you want to share?
No, I'm
I
just,
cover everything.
as you said, I'm just super excited now to progress to be an examiner. So I'm pretty excited about that, and but I'm going to be out there instructing, so don't think I'm going anywhere. But I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes, like I said, Donna was able to take her test today, and she successfully completed that test, and she is now an examiner at the Cindy Cohen School of Driving.
Yes.
So, Donna along with Terry are both examiners, so we're just gonna, build the team and make it bigger. And with that being said, if there's anyone looking to be employed by Cindy Cohen School of Driving as a driving instructor, this is the best place to work. We are a family. We will train you up. We support you, and it is a great way to make a difference in someone's life. So don't be afraid to pick up that phone, call us. email us, talk to our instructors, give us your name, and we'll set up an interview. Thanks.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Riding with Robin. We'll be taking more time out to introduce our instructors, but for next week, it's all about how to buy a car. See you then.